Are we back? Do you guys see us? Did we win? Did we win? Are we winning? Hello, are we live? Do you see us? Yay! Okay, you see us. That's great. Okay, cool beans. Oh, what a time for my staying stream deck to, or my capture card to throw a dang hissy fit. Alright, thank you, Riddles. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Alright, okay, everything's good? Now I'm paranoid. Alright. Now it's time for cutscene, probably. Oh. We had very good food. Let's wait for the cutscene to be over, we'll talk about it.
I begin to think, Wilson, said Sholmes, turning his head languidly in my direction, that there is more to this case than that which we have observed. Indeed, that there may be another part to this story that we are yet to discover. His eyes wandered, following the steam rising from his cup of herbal tea, leading him to the distant memory of that.
Don't be writing something.
To the young lady collapsed on the pavement along Briar Road, and to the knife in her back.
It definitely looks like I'm writing something position, though.
A most extraordinary scene had been set. And under the cover of a light fog, the curtain had risen silently on the insoluble mystery of our invisible killer.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, we have a stabbing? Question mark?
This guy.
Food was good. We got some Asian food hall food. There's an Asian food hall like right next to us, so
It's so good.
we got some
We got all the food.
good Asian food.
I'm in a food coma.
Oh god, it was a lot of good food. I had a lot of beef.
Ooh.
A lot of big beef. Yeah, just the day after, this is a burning omnibus just after. So, yeah, a lot of murders apparently happening in London.
Did you sleep last night, Naruto-san?
Define sleep. No, not at all.
It was an enormous hotel, wasn't it? The rooms were so luxurious. I finally was out of my second-class cabin.
Right.
It was a palace, okay? It was a
Yes,
palace.
you gotta finish the line, baby.
And with all the gas lights twinkling, it was brighter than day, even in the middle of the night. Wait until I see electricity.
What about the enormous beds? After my time on the SS Beria, I wasn't gonna waste a single inch of that space. I mean, the beds were so small on the Beria. It was like Kazuma and I really had to, squeeze in there.
I noticed how you had just the one bed.
Yeah. Anyway. I spent the entire night rolling from one side of the mattress to the other.
And what I was doing in between.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I definitely wasn't pretending that Kazuma was still there.
Oh yes, it really was the sort of night you can only dream of normally. Too soon? Except when I learned that we owed £3 for the rooms. That dream quickly turned into a nightmare. You really should have taken the rich guy's money.
Oops, sorry about that. The building was so impressive and the entrance so inviting, I just wandered in without thinking.
That does sound like him.
Yeah, the without thinking part specifically.
If Cosmo had been here, it would have been like, dear Kun,
honey, we can't afford that. Honey, sweetheart, come on. We need to
we're
go.
gonna go down this way.
We're gonna go down the street. I know of a place.
It's called the Ramshackle Inn.
Right.
It's about what we can afford.
Where I'm gonna ram and shackle you. Ta-da! Anyway.
In a lodging house in Japan, that sum of money would put a roof over your head for a whole year. I did try, but I couldn't help my tears when we were presented with the bill. Do you think it worked on them?
I really am sorry.
Well, never mind anyway, whatever. We must find some more affordable lodging straight away, though, so I'm going to consult my diary. If we're not careful, our entire stipend will be used up in 10 days or less.
London's a scary place.
Well, hold the phone. She just said that £3 could cover you in a lodging house for a year. Yes?
Yeah.
And then she said we're going to use our stipend in 10 days. So are you saying that you've got enough money to stay in a lodging house in Japan for 10 fucking years?
Probably. It's probably the
Good
guy.
morning to you at this early hour.
Yes, this motherfucker. Oh, yes, this top energy, it's rendering me unable to speak.
Morning, Lord Chief Justice. We have come to report on the outcome of the trial at the Old Bailey yesterday.
If you haven't heard of it already. Misato-san is amazing. She doesn't bat an eyelid, even in the presence of the most imposing Lord Strongheart.
Yes. I believe you had a very comprehensive initiation into British courtroom practices.
Yeah, it kind of fucking sucks, man. Oh, yes, it was very eye-opening. Thank you.
And in accordance with your instructions, Lord Strongheart, Mr. Naruhodo performed his duty to the end. Yes. I've already been apprised of events.
Not to the satisfactory end, but to the end nonetheless.
You conducted a remarkable defense. They consider the test passed.
Oh, great. Oh.
No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer!
Oh, yay!
You get to be a lawyer now.
Yeah, I get to say that you're a lawyer because you defended one dude.
I get to send you off on all the cases I want to. My country is delighted to welcome young talent from such a remote eastern land.
Remote is a strong word. Thank you very much. So, I'm a lawyer now, I guess.
Now, in view of your new appointment, I have a fresh case in mind for you.
Oh. Cool.
I'd like you to take it on at once. I trust that won't be a problem.
Even if it was, you wouldn't give me a choice, I'm pretty sure.
I would not.
Another case already? Alright, good. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Nothing trains a lawyer better than practical experience.
Oh, you know, we just became a lawyer, Ziva. Hooray!
Just like that.
We're just not gonna bring up the whole burning omnibus and the whole fact that maybe our client did the thing.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm sure I don't sense dissatisfaction, do I?
Oh no, I'm thoroughly satisfied, sir. No. It's just that yesterday's trial ended unusually. I haven't quite come to terms with it.
What's to come to terms with? The man was cleared. What more were you hoping for?
To find the truth?
Oh, such an idealist. I remember when I was your age.
We're gonna flashback, just in case you missed it. The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment. God, don't make me voice him again. Well, Lord Van Zinks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. As for you, my dear fella, couldn't ask for a better defense. Oh boy. Yeah, he laughed.
He laughed.
He laughed. Because he probably murdered a dude. Mick Weirdo, I didn't miss him either.
Nope.
I just can't help wondering if Mr. McGilded really was innocent.
Mr. Naruhodo. Not now.
It's just that I never managed to ascertain the truth. And then the trial ended.
I'm polishing my watch. You needn't let it trouble you for a second longer.
Sorry?
What do you mean, Lord Strongheart?
He says sorry a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's asked, what?
Hey! What? Say what now? What the actual fuck? Magnus McGilded passed away immediately following the trial. So, when you're talking about feeling dissatisfied, you're just never going to know, so look forward to a lifetime of dissatisfaction.
Was he
Murdered?
in the omnibus when it was set on fire?
Was he, like, literally in it?
Well, yeah, because like in the cutscene there, he was trying to bust his way. Like there was someone in the omnibus when it was on fire.
Damn, I don't remember that. Jesus, if he actually burned to death in there.
That would be agonizing.
It'd be really fucking dark.
Holy shit.
What? No, what?
What? Mr. McGilded is dead? Dramatic birds.
Dramatic birds. I have 19 minutes and 41 seconds until my next engagement. Time enough to talk.
Hey, first question.
So,
what the fuck? I don't understand. What happened? How can he be dead?
After the trial concluded yesterday, there was a great commotion in the Old Bailey. As you'll presumably recall, an omnibus had been wheeled into the courtroom.
Yes, of course. That was the scene of the crime which Mr. McGilder had been accused of.
Precisely. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames.
No.
How? How could such a thing have happened? That is being investigated as we speak. But basically just ash, so not much to investigate. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded. Yes, he burned alive.
That's awful.
Man must have slipped inside whilst the bailiff's attention was elsewhere. Pesky bailiff.
That
Always
means I
letting
won't
people
have to voice him
burn.
again, you guys.
You're free!
I'm free! Except in flashbacks.
Holy crap. He burned to death?
That bailiff really needs to pay more attention.
How could that have happened? That is also being investigated as we speak. These things, they happen.
I'm pretty sure they don't just happen.
Thinking back now, immediately after the trial, Mr. McGilded did mention going back into the courtroom to look at the omnibus.
Sorry, Sweetie gets the next Irishman.
Great.
We switch back and forth on the Russians.
Yep. I get the next Irishman.
You get the next Irishman. No! No! No!
He's coming back for you.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry, what inspection? They're gonna examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. Asked if I could be present for it myself.
An inspection of the omnibus.
Stop fucking flashing back to the fucking...
Not to my knowledge, I don't believe Scotland Yard had any intention of re-examining the carriage.
But then who was Mr. McGilded talking about?
Never mind that now. The Yard is making a thorough investigation. This matter is no longer any concern of yours. Leave it to the police.
But,
Move along now. Poor Mr. McGilded.
I don't feel bad for him. I mean, poor Mr. McGilded.
Well, I guess we're just moving right along.
Oh god. They need to stop flashing back to McGilded so I don't have to.
So,
Voice
how
it
did you
anymore.
find your first taste of our country's Supreme Court? Have you developed a taste for British courtrooms?
I have definitely developed a taste for British prosecutors, but the rest of the court kind of sucked. Oh well, I don't know. I mean, it was wow.
Mr. Naruhodo means that the whole experience was steeped in the solemnity of Great Britain's long history. It's really a world apart from our own judicial system in Japan, which is only a few short decades old.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Oh wow, Susato-san has such a way with words.
I have
They're
words
not
at
my
all.
words.
And you seem to have a way of failing to find the right ones.
Hey, stop reading my mind. Not okay.
The judicial system here is the most advanced in the world. Learn all you can, my disciple.
Most advanced in the world, is it? Well, it fucking sucks.
It's fortunate that your very first trial was a simple affair.
Was it though?
It was simple. Simple? That was simple? As I believe I mentioned yesterday morning, it was a trial you couldn't lose. I don't mean to be contrary, Lord Strongheart, but, that trial was fucked up. I mean, that case was anything but simple.
The circumstances of the case were so incriminating, I was stunned when I first heard them. In fact, I'm still finding it hard to believe that we managed to get a favorable verdict. Forever. Is something funny?
Fix was in my voice.
Am I a joke to you?
No, my apologies. However, the fact is that you did receive the not guilty verdict you set out to achieve.
I think we're having two different conversations right now. I think you and I are not on the same page.
Exclamation mark.
Pretty sure we're not even reading the same book.
And that can only be attributed to exceptional talent, wouldn't you agree?
Well,
My exceptional talent in choosing you for the case.
I don't know about that.
Well, never mind. You exceeded my expectations, I freely admit. That much at least is an undeniable truth. Which is precisely why I've prepared the new case for you that I mentioned before.
What is going on? What was he gonna say before?
What the fuck is going on?
Yee, exceptional. Hi, Sage, how you doing? In a minute.
Could you perhaps give us some more details about the new case you mentioned?
Don't tell me. It's a murder, and the trial starts in 10 minutes.
Well, Lucy, it's a murder, and the trial starts in, checking my watch, approximately 10 minutes.
Right?
Don't worry, it's nothing so alarming or quite so urgent as your last assignment. The last one started in fact, 9 minutes.
Right. I am also, in fact, alive. I am so glad that you're here.
Thank you for coming. In fact, this case is completely different.
Oh, I see. Did he just read my mind? I already said that's not okay.
No one has died as yet. They're just going to die before the trial begins, you see.
Oh,
You are going to be accused of murdering them.
neato.
The trial will not be today. There is plenty of time to research the case thoroughly before
Oh,
this
that
person
sounds
dies.
great.
23 hours, 43 minutes, and 19 seconds to be precise.
Oh, fantastic. It's tomorrow. Sadly, McWeirder subbed to life right now, so he's not part of the Alive Club.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you know, we kind of, he actually got banhammered from the Alive Club. We're just like, nah, we don't want that. So the trial's tomorrow then.
Is everything alright? And I totally know it's not. I'm just asking.
Well, you see, my boyfriend died on the way over here. I'm still in mourning. I won a trial that I honestly didn't really want to win. I don't really know what the truth is. I'm going to have to go to court in a day. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a little confused, that's all.
Also, you forgot about the hotel bill. There's also
yeah, also we're destitute. Yesterday's trial was... well, it left me wondering if I'm really cut out for being a lawyer.
Oh, Naruhodo-san. You were never cut out for being a lawyer.
Yeah, honestly, I did tell Kazuma after the first time we were in court together, Jesus fucking Christ, this sucks and I never want to do it again. And then I did it again, and guess what? It still fucking sucks. I don't know if I could face standing in that courtroom again after Mr. McGillicud's trial. Oh my god, Ziva, I just saw what you posted in my Discord. Rune Factory 5 has a release date. It's on March 22nd, 2022.
Yay!
That's so great. We are streaming the fuck out of Rune Factory. That could be a game we could play together. Rune Factory is fun. It's been a month since the Tixie raid. Holy shit, yeah.
Yes, I nearly forgot. There is one similarity with yesterday's case. Actually, there is someone who's dead. Once again, there is currently no one to advocate for the defense.
I am so looking forward to Rune Factory. You have no idea, Ziva. I'm just... Oh! Okay. If you've never played Rune Factory 4, probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time. Like, not even just in terms of farming games. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. It's just good. So, Rune Factory 5, I've been looking forward to for a very long time.
Wait.
Anyway. Yes, no one to advocate for the defense, yeah.
Yes, the defense is a total wackadoodle.
Oh.
If the situation remains unchanged, the trial will start tomorrow with the defendant unrepresented. So...
Man, your court system fucking sucks. Like, you really gotta...
And if that happens, I need not remind you of the inevitable outcome. So, basically, anything you do for me from here out, if you don't do it, you shall be responsible for the untimely death of the defendant.
Right. Do you have any right to an attorney?
We haven't figured out that part yet. The most terrible end awaits the defendant. I mean, I guess aside from burning in an omnibus. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, when did Rune Factory 4 come out? It feels like ages ago. Here we go again. I mean, not the like new edition that came out on the Switch.
Time is up. You'll have to excuse me. I've got better things to do. I would advise you to begin making preparations for tomorrow's trial. Remember, you don't want to be responsible for killing a man, do you? After all, the clock is ever ticking.
Yeah, thanks, Discount Damon Gant. He is, though, like...
God, yeah.
He's gotta be a Gant.
There is now but 23 hours, 26 minutes, and 39 seconds until the court sits, and who knows how many days until you predictably find out that I'm part of this whole mess that your dead boyfriend was trying to track down.
Right, I am definitely gonna have to, like, get him convicted of murder at some point. Like, he has such a villain vibe.
Totally, and look at those eyes.
Right. He's a Damon Gant, like, he has to be.
Come on.
Like... Last time he mentioned 23 hours, he said there was plenty of time.
One more thing. Mr. Naruhodo. There is something I should like to ask you.
I'm taken.
Coffee or tea?
Oh, what's that?
Yesterday you remarked upon something. That you intend to see through the will of your late... I believe we're calling it compatriot these days?
I guess compatriot.
Mr. Asogi.
Oh.
Part where I perhaps threaten you?
Oh, sure.
Exclamation mark. I would be interested to hear exactly what you mean by that. Specifically, give me every detail.
No.
inside 34 seconds.
Oh, well, Kazuma always used to say, you see, that he wanted to learn how the greatest justice system in the world worked so he could change ours in Japan. Now that he's gone, I'd like to work towards that myself. And there's another thing.
Oh! Another thing? Continue.
On the way here, on the steamship, he said something to me.
There's something very important that I have to do. It's you. Something very important? And what exactly or who would that be?
That would be me. I am very important. He never had a chance to tell me. I suppose he would have done if he'd ever made it to
You're out of time. Well, thank you for an enlightening discussion. Mr. Naruhodo, what's this all about? Mr. Asogi never once mentioned anything of the sort to me. I urge you both to focus your attentions on the matter at hand. Good. I've taken the liberty of summoning the police inspector in charge of the case. Welcome.
Where's Hosonaga-san?
No Hosonaga for you.
Also, Ziva, I believe you were gifted that sub during my birthday stream?
Birthday?
Like a couple weeks ago?
Guy's mega rude.
Oh, he's super rude. I hate this guy so much.
He'll be able to apprise you of the details. I've got better things to do.
How long has he been there?
So, I wish you the best of luck and bid you farewell. Go along, do my bidding. Kazuma-sama, there's something very important that I have to do. Kazuma-sama, what did you mean? What did you mean?
I wish I knew. Honestly, he never told me. But I assume he meant me, because I am very important to him, and he had to. Anyway, we better talk to that detective, don't you think?
Yes, you're right.
Oh, I'm sure Sholmes will show up today.
Yes.
I hope I'm just imagining it, but I wouldn't say he looks pleased to see us at all. Is he eating fries? Sir? Also, okay, there's nothing actually else to look at. Cool.
Since I'm expecting Sholmes will be in this, I would recommend that you take this one.
Okay, yeah. Could we trouble you? God, I have to come up with an accent. Shit.
Take your time.
What do you think?
I
Lovely.
want that. I want his fries.
Lovely weather, isn't it? What's the weather got to do with anything? Listen to me, you young Japanese upstart. Some frippery about the weather doesn't get every English gent eaten out of your hand, you know. But Susato-san told me it was foolproof. I'm a busy man, a very busy man. There's a crime scene to investigate, but I'm here having to give the likes of you a talking to. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Can you imagine what the other officers there will be saying, Also, I'm so sorry. I can't English accents. I'm so sorry. Haven't seen Gregson anywhere, have you? No, he's too busy with the bigwigs these days. Well, because of some bumpkin who's here on a jaunt from a country I've never even heard of. You're in a ripping sound. It's the reputation of my yard going to tatters. No need to rip us apart as well. Yeah, he can apparently have limitless food. Somehow.
I don't believe we've been introduced. Hi. This is Mr. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. With a C. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. Have you seen a woman before? It's lovely weather we're having today, isn't it?
It's unseasonably fine, I grant you. London winters don't see a lot of sunshine. Unbelievable. How did you pull that off? Oh, Lord Strongheart has asked me to fill you in on the case. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard.
Gregson? Inspector Gregson?
What's the matter with Susato-san?
What's the matter with Susato?
Does this detective's name mean something to her? Are you dating? Is he your pen pal?
Inspector, are you perhaps my real dad? No, wait. The Inspector Gregson? I read about you in my diary.
Inspector Gregson. Go gadget fish and chips, I guess.
Go, Gregson, go.
It's been a long time since I've seen that show. It's been a very long time. You're acting like you know this man, Susato, but he's a London detective.
Oh, I do know him very well, in fact.
Very well?
Not very well. Well, he features prominently.
Biblically?
I'm a minor. He's in the adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, in the publication. What's it called again? Rent magazine?
Rams. That's right, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful, friendly rivalry, and we all know it. Friendly rivalries are like hearing Ace Attorney.
Friendly rivalry.
They're just a friendly. They're friendly with their rivalry. They're very friendly.
Really? You rivaled great Mr. Sholmes? That's incredible. He's also kind of an idiot, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Mr. Sholmes isn't a professional like myself, of course, but he does come up with the goods from time to time.
Oh, does he? Mr. Sholmes is equally complimentary about you, Inspector, isn't he? You've earned his highest praise.
What will we hate you for, Riddles? Riddles, please.
Oh boy. Suspense. Gregson is the pick of a bad lot of all the Scotland Yarders. Those are his own words.
That's his highest praise?
Pretty much. You know the guy. Mr. Sholmes isn't particularly known for giving compliments, you see.
That he is not. And thanks to that magazine, my name's been all over London by now.
He's got the fish and chips.
Combination
He's got the Taco Bell. He's got the combination fish and chips and Taco Bell.
No, you just made my sweetie very happy. You're allowed to stay. I won't pan you right now.
Riddles actually beat us to the first Pizza Hut and Taco Bell joke.
Yeah, the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell joke. Amazing. That's great, isn't it? I don't even remember what he said. What is so great? What's happening?
He had the fish and chips.
He had the Taco Bell. He had the... his name is known all over London. Well, I have to admit that to start with, I was a little, well, flattered by all the attention. Everyone wanted to shake my hand, and my reputation at the yard went through the roof. Well, that's wonderful. No, it's not! There's nothing more sinister than a man on the street. People are always looking at me now. They're whispering rumors about me under their breath, I'm sure. Rumors? With a U?
Are you quite sure about that? I think they just want your fish.
He's changed since he started appearing in those stories. His fame's gone to his head, stuff like that.
Gosh, do you really think people are saying such mean-spirited things about you?
Like I said, they whisper, so I can't exactly catch what they're saying, but I know what folks are like. I'm sure that's what they're saying. As sure as eggs is eggs.
Gregson, I feel you on this one.
I get the feeling that this detective could be very hard work. I miss Hosonaga-san.
Oh dear, perhaps a sudden rise to fame does change people.
So were you at the Pizza Hut?
Or the Taco Bell?
So, about the case that Lord Chief Justice mentioned before. Nothing to tell, really.
Great, thanks a lot.
So glad. As far as we're concerned at the yard, it couldn't be simpler.
Oh dear, that probably means it's gonna be really fucking complex, I'm just guessing. As far as we're concerned as lawyers, it couldn't be more complicated. Is just, a more professional way of expressing what I just said, haha.
I wish you were wrong about that, but I have a nasty feeling you're right.
You have a nasty feeling? Oh no.
I have a very nasty feeling deep inside. A young woman was walking along the pavement at Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind.
Excuse me, I thought this wasn't a murder case.
Fortunately, it wasn't fatal, and she's still laid up in the hospital unconscious. Oh.
That's despicable! What sort of coward wouldn't finish the job? I mean, would attack the poor woman from behind!
Maybe he just likes the back entrance, that's...
In the back?
Yeah, he just likes to do it in the back. What's wrong with that? I suppose you would have finished whoever it was with the Susato takedown, would you?
Yes, I always finish them off. That's neither here nor there, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oops, sorry. That's a good pose for her. Cute. Brace yourself, Reinosuke. You've angered her now. Anyway, after something of a whirlwind investigation, the criminal was arrested. Barely had time for a cup of tea after the incident took place, to be honest. Well, there must have been something left at the scene that led you directly to the culprit. Alright.
Look at you being lawyer-like. Maybe a reliable witness who recognized the person in question?
Or like decisive evidence.
Or like...
Let me stop you right there. You're wasting your time on this one. Sorry? There's nothing you could do. There's no way to help the bloke now. Why ever not? Simple.
Everyone hates him.
The prosecutor that's been assigned to the trial tomorrow is Lord Barak Van Zeeks. Oh, okay.
Yep.
No! No! He's the one who had me thinking naughty thoughts about betraying my Cosmos.
No, not the man who thrust his leg up upon the prosecutor's bench.
Maybe Murder Cone is the person who was arrested.
Yes, they got Murder Cone. They're like, look, you're a cone of murder.
Yeah.
And basically a near murder.
You're holding a knife as we speak. It is dripping with blood. The lady was stabbed.
And we did find ice cream nearby.
Yeah, there was the ice cream at the scene. So...
Murder Cone, you're going to prison.
Sounds like you've heard of him then.
Oh yes, we are very familiar with Lord Van Zeeks.
We have been personally victimized by his extreme homosexuality and the inside of his thighs.
Believed to be the harbinger of death itself, and boy, can he crush a wine glass.
The Reaper of the Bailey, and boy, is he handsome. Maybe the woman is murdered toast. Perhaps.
Murder toast.
Lord Barak Van Zeeks, who we faced in court only yesterday.
Mr. McGilda told us about him before the trial, didn't he? Flashback.
Oh, I don't remember who said this. I think
Mr. McGilden. Ha! Come back to haunt you, I guess.
I'm going to say this in a normal voice. When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. This Reaper of the Bailey nickname. I suppose he's earned that because every defendant he advocates against is found guilty, is that it? Well, you better take that away because,
Well, if that's the case, we should inform you, Inspector, that his record has been broken. Mr. Naruhodo secured a verdict of not guilty.
Huh. And what of it?
I think, that means that even against the Reaper of the Bailey, it's not impossible to save the defendant.
No, you really don't have a clue, do you? What do you mean? What happened to the bloke in the end? Eh? He's dead.
Jesus.
Van Zeeks? Ah. Magnus McGilded came a cropper in that omnibus when it went up in flames. So you can't rightly say you saved the defendant, can you? What are you saying? Look, if Van Zeeks could get the dirt to stick on everyone, he'd be a miracle worker. But that's not how it goes. He doesn't work miracles. He works magic. Black magic.
This poor Ancient Miles.
I'd have a good long think about that if I were you.
The rumors floating about him are that he uses black magic.
Are we really supposed to believe that? Are we supposed to believe that he murdered Mr. McGilded?
I guess that's what Mr. Gregson here, I guess that's his conspiracy theory.
Yeesh.
That's what my memes on Facebook tell me.
Right, well, I filled you in as requested, and I'm very nearly out of chips. I'll be heading back to the crime scene now. We're still carrying out a few investigations there.
It was Briar Road, you said, didn't you? Where the incident took place?
That's correct, ma'am, and if you head over to the holding cells, you can meet the criminal himself.
They hold over to dead cells.
You've branded him a criminal already? He's as good as shaking like a leaf in his cell, he is. I'll give you a chuckle if nothing else. Is inmate 53. Speak to the jailer and he'll show you the way. Inmate 53. Thank you. So there's no helping anyone against the Reaper of the Paley, they say.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a wild guess. If it's not that Sholmes shows up in this case, it's just inmate 53 is Sholmes.
That'd be fucking...
That's very Ace Attorney.
That would be something.
Is something troubling you, Mr. Naruhodo, aside from, like,
Although,
everything that's troubling you?
We've already done the trope of somebody we know gets accused of murder twice already, and it was the protagonist. Twice.
True.
If it's Sholmes, then it's like, you're leaning a little too hard on that trope.
Tell the truth, when I recall the trial yesterday, I can't stop myself from shaking, especially now that we know that the guy burned alive. Also, the idea of facing the Reaper in court again is...
Yeah, it's getting a bit hot in here, actually.
Well, if you think it's too much for you, there's no shame in turning the case down. No, Kazuma-sama would say that takes courage, too. No, if you're just feeling like it would just shake you up a bit too much to be beholden to Van Zeeks.
Maybe I need to spend a lot of time shut up in a room with Lord Van Zeeks so I can be a little less afraid of him.
Or maybe you
I'm just gonna invite him up to my hotel room, and we're gonna close the door, and...
I want nothing to do with this.
But if the man that you've arrested is innocent...
Exclamation mark?
You could well imagine he would be shaking like a leaf in his cell. And I, for one, wouldn't find the sight of that funny.
So...
If I'm honest, I'm still reeling from the shock of yesterday's events myself. And I'm really not sure if I'll be able to help this man, whoever he is. But I'd like to try, so I think I'm gonna make some inquiries. Will you help?
Oh, Naruhodo-san, did you really think you had to ask? Like you could do anything without me. I am your judicial assistant, and your only other brain cell.
Yeah, I'm useless without you and all that stuff. Thank you. So then, shall we?
Let's shall. Yes! Ikimashou!
Cool.
Oh boy.
Let's go to prison!
Let's go to prison!
Naruhodo-san's, trip to prison.
Local prison.
Cell 9, alright. So these are British prison cells.
Oh, they're ghastly. Feels just like a dungeon, this prison.
This looks like Kazuma's bedroom.
Hey!
Yeah, and having experienced it in Japan myself,
Experienced
experienced Kazuma's bedroom.
Kazuma's bedroom.
I can assure you that our wooden cells feel a lot cozier than these stone-cold walls.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, don't give me a mental image, please. You're making it so much worse.
Okay, sorry. Apparently our client is in the cell here. Looks empty to me. It's so dark at the back there, I can't make him out. I wonder what he's like. I'm usually really good at making out. What? Airmaid 53, your legal representative is here to see you. Stop fine, get the back of the cell and show your face at once. You, maybe?
Hey. No name.
The Mike did not pick that up at all.
Am I a cat, as yet with no name? Me by number. It's utterly unbelievable, unjustly unreasonable. I refuse to answer. Who is it? Naruhodo-san. Nani? What do you think is going on here? 'Cause I don't know.
I have no idea. But I wasn't just hearing things, was I? That tirade of complaints was in Japanese! Magica!
Hey?
Who are you?
Fuck is this phase?
What?
This is what? What are they even? What the? I don't even understand. What is going on here?
Excuse me, but who?
Shh. Shizuka-de. Quiet. All around, hiding. I know they are. Watching, listening, even now. I can sense.
You really?
I can sense it.
I was gonna say, the mic keeps not picking up, like, some of your sentence.
This guy's so weird. Don't even know. Take a moment to figure this guy out. ...
Right, so...
Oh! Come to curse me, haven't you? Don't try to hide it. You're a ghost!
Okay, what? Okay, I was trying to ask who you were. A ghost? Yeah, he might be slightly paranoid.
A bit. That face says everything that I am her right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna slowly back out of the prison, and you guys have fun.
We mean you no harm, prisoners. Prisoners, are you Japanese by any chance? Nihonjin de gozaimasu.
Oh, his eyes totally changed.
Oh, whoa, they did. Nihonjin de irashaimasu ka is what she would ask. Okay. Kore wa. Good job! Japanese is so good. Kore wa. Beyond my wildest dreams. Yume mitai desu. Saki no outburst de oyurushi kudasai. I'm so sorry. Moshiwake gozaimasen deshita.
Oh, it's fine. We're just a little surprised, that's all.
Inmate-chan. Imagine it! It's been 12 long months since I left my hometown, and here I am in a frightful fix in a foreign land. So, hearing the sweet, sentimental tones of a patriot's voice here in this damp, dark hellhole was a most monumentally moving moment.
This man needs help.
Seriously.
Who could have guessed that this new client Lord Strongheart assigned to us
Was a total wackadoodle.
turn out to be a fellow Japanese? I mean, that's kind of cool.
Ah. What compassion my fellow countrymen show. To dispatch a first-class lawyer all the way from Japan to defend a mere foreign student. No, nurturing, never failing Nippon! Fuck.
First class lawyer.
Ah, about that.
Oh dear. I think there's something of a misunderstanding.
Look, he stayed in a first-class cabin, but I'm not bitter. I wonder, would you be so kind as to tell us what happened?
Watch your language, Susanna-san.
Why you've been detained as a suspect, son, for example? Hai. Dekimasu. I will. Don't stay sullen and silent. I really wonder what the original Japanese was here.
It had to have been interesting.
Something alliterative or God, who knows. I'm not quite sure I understand what he means, but he seems happy. By happy, I mean out of his head.
Yeah, he does. I just hope he actually has a good reason to be. Thank you for your cooperation as a lawyer. I am a lawyer, as you said. As a lawyer, I'm a lawyer. My name is Naruhodo Ryunosuke.
As a Naruhodo, I am.
As a Naruhodo, I am a Ryunosuke.
And I am Naruhodo-san, judicial assistant. Mikotoba Susato de gozaimasu. I am visiting student sent here by our government. Another one.
Really?
Notably notoriously named Natsume! What? Natsume Soseki? You're fucking kidding me? You serious about this? It's a famous novelist.
Interesting.
Are we doing historical fiction here?
I mean, we do have Herlock Sholmes.
True. This is...
Soseki Natsume-san. What an unusual name.
Oh, me, Soseki, please. I'm a poet, you see. Writer of haiku.
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 Something of a nom de plume. I speak French as well.
A nom de plume? You mean an alias?
You speak French as well.
Someone spoke French to me.
That's right, Naruhodo-san. No! Don't be so prosaic. It's much more refined than that.
And haiku, that really reminds me of home. You know, where haikus are from.
Did I hear you say that you were a visiting student sent over here by the government? We knew one of those.
Kinda was one of those.
That's right, a year ago I was told to go and study English. I was just trying to see, like, Natsume Soseki actually did have a big-ass mustache.
He did have a mustache somewhat like that.
He did not look like a crazy person, but... Okay. First I had to suffer that misery, and now this, it's beyond the pale!
Suffer that misery. Did you not want to study here?
No! I mean, I've had an interest in Great Britain for some years, of course.
Oh.
But just because the government tells you to do something doesn't mean you can do it. No! What do you mean? They told me to study English literature. That I could have understood. That's my field. But no, they told me to study the English language. Utterly, unbelievably, unjustly unreasonable. I wonder if Soseki was alliterative. And that's a nod, but I don't think so. I don't know.
I see.
Or they're just trying to make him sound poetic? I don't know. What? Only the other day, I was told to send a report about my first year here. I tendered a blank piece of paper because my first year was empty. Why these words on whitewashy? We're gonna have to put up with this for the whole trial. You must be a man of great standing. Oh, yes. So I'm often told.
And often like to be told, it seems.
The thing about Natsume Soseki is I don't remember anything about his personality.
Right.
Like, I read Kokoro by him. Oh my god, the case!
Yeah, the case is called something.
Kokoro.
something-
That's
something
his famous
Kokoro,
novel. I mean, I
yeah.
read that, you know, like, in college. I don't remember it. Could you perhaps tell us exactly why you've been arrested, Soseki-san? I didn't do it! I didn't commit that atrocious murder! Murder! No, it's alright. The woman didn't actually die, did she? It's not murder yet. But she was stabbed with a knife right before my eyes!
Before your eyes? You mean you saw the attacker?
I didn't see anyone. No one. I didn't see anyone. No.
What?
I'd seen the person who did it. Do you think I'd be locked up in here? Oh dear, it seems this case is becoming...
This is like looks into the fucking camera like The Office kind of
Definitely.
look.
Uh-huh. Seems this case is becoming rather complicated.
Like I said it would.
Why me? Why me? Why did that silly woman have to be stabbed in front of me? It's the curse. The curse of London. It's incredibly, excuse me, irritatingly inconvenient.
Inconvenience, one word for it, I guess. Seki-san really was there at the scene, but he didn't see the attacker?
It's vital we find out more about the case. As in, we should leave and go somewhere else and find out something about the case. So
Cool.
I guess we have to talk.
Really quick, I'm gonna use the bathroom. So we're gonna take about 5 minutes.
Break
I'm gonna
time.
run a little bit of an ad.
Break time.
So I'm sorry for people who are not subbed, but it'll eliminate pre-rolls, and I will be back 5 minutes. See you soon. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Alright, let's talk about the case.
It was an accursed evening just after snow had started to clear and heavy with fog. I'd been to the bookshop to buy some books, and I was on my way back to my accursed lodgings.
Sure, the bookshop wasn't accursed too.
I was walking along that accursed pavement. I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me.
Thanks for sticking around, Riddles.
Thank you. Woman wearing a green overcoat. And just as I went to overtake her, murder cone! She suddenly let out a little scream and collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. How terrible. I called out to the woman, but she didn't move. It was like a ghostly, ghoulish graveyard.
Light exaggeration there, perhaps?
I was terrified. I had to get away from there.
Where's the blood?
There's no blood. She just is a fake. I ran as fast as my legs would carry me back to my accursed lodgings.
That's not great. Yeah, that kind of sucks, dude. Sorry.
They'll say it was shameful, I know, to run away like that.
I think they're saying it's more than shameful. Probably, suspicious.
Uh-huh.
Since you like alliteration so much.
Illegal?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, so Seki-san, was the victim an acquaintance of yours? Don't be ridiculous!
Stupidly suspicious, Soseki-san.
Nice. Do you think I know any of these fair-haired English? And a young woman at that? Me? Speak to a woman?
Women don't exist in Japan!
Diffident, shy, timid, unsure. I can't talk to people! He says,
Well,
talking to people a lot.
You're certainly, not good at talking to people. We could say that. I see. A young woman unknown to Sasaki-san, I'm sorry.
Very unknown.
Extremely, so unknown. And at the time it happened, who else did you see nearby? Did anyone pass you?
Regrettably. Apart from myself and the woman, I didn't see a soul.
Yeah, but did you see a person?
I didn't see an accursed person.
No one. Oh, great.
So the victim was unknown to you, and there was nobody else on the street at the time. That creates something of a conundrum, doesn't it?
Huh? What conundrum?
Are you paying any attention?
Oh, you mean the conundrum of, the fact that, couldn't have been anyone else? What do you mean, Sasata-san? What's the conundrum? I'm stupid and clueless. Please clue me. Look at her face. She's like, why would you ask this question?
Kazuma-sama, I'm going to have to spoon feed him again.
Right.
This is what I get because you're
Kazuma-sama.
not here.
Kazuma-sama, give me the strength to not punch him in the face.
Well, if what Soseki-san has just told us is true, there's something I can't explain. He says that he didn't know the victim and that there was no one else at the scene. So then he apparently fled without having been seen.
That's what he wants us to think.
I did!
But if that's the case, surely this man has to be the culprit.
You. What did you just say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. Oops. Perhaps I thought that a little too loudly.
Actually, that's not what was troubling me. What I was thinking was, how did Soseki-san actually come to be arrested? I mean, did he just run to prison?
Sorry?
He didn't touch the victim and there was nobody at the scene to see him, so how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place?
Oh, yeah, she's right.
Yep. He caused himself. It was him, that accursed great detective. He led the police to me.
Son of a bitch! Herlock!
Mr. Sholmes! All the bad luck.
Cursed great detective, could it be?
I shall never forget that man's name as long as I live. With his haughty laugh and his self-proclaimed greatness. Brash, big-headed busybody, begone! May you be cursed until the end of your days. Herlock Sholmes!
I knew it. I knew it. There's only one person in this world dumber than me, and it's Sholmes.
Mr. Sholmes? Oh, that explains everything. Herlock Sholmes.
I don't know if I miss you, but here you are. Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I didn't expect to hear that name from this man's lips, that's for sure.
As the morning after that nightmare unfolded on the pavement before me, I woke up with a strange man in my bed. I was gnawing on a sliver of hard cheese when some men suddenly burst in the door.
Hard? Why was the cheese hard?
Specifically, it was hard and was a sliver. They started shouting at me, "This is the police! Put the weapon down!" So I put down my cheese! A thin sliver and it was hard, but I wasn't eating a weapon! Disgusting dietary discrimination devils!
You clearly had a trying morning yesterday. But clearly it's all better now that you're in prison.
There he was in the middle of all the policemen, grinning like a Cheshire cat.
Is that? I was gonna say, that has to have
Has
been written by now, right? Has it? I don't
Has
know.
it?
When was there was Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Alice. If I could type in Wonderland. Written. Wait, when was it written?
This would be like
1865. So
Wow,
yeah,
okay. It's been written.
It has been written. It has been out for some time, actually.
I'll use the exact parallel because I'm not saying Kokoro is anything like Huckleberry Finn, but this is kind of like if this guy's name was just Mark Twain. Like, it feels really weird. It has me wondering what is historically going on here, but I don't want to jog my memory about Natsume Soseki because if I do, maybe I'll get spoilers for the case.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he was actually ever accused of murder.
It's possible. I mean, like, I can't tell if this is pricking at my memory or if my brain is trying to fill in things to imagine I have a memory of something, you know?
Right, yeah. Or maybe they're just like inserting historical figures.
Mhm.
Like Assassin's Creed.
Totally.
Definitely not a game I would usually compare this game to.
Herlock Sholmes!
It's actually just Herlock Sholmes.
Herlock.
He's English.
I since found out that he's a famous name in detection here in London. Yes, the great detective is really very well known. And his overly sharp mind managed to deduce my whereabouts, apparently. He thinks I'm the knife-wielding madman. Me? This weak, stooped kitten of a man?
You know, the two people that he's gotten arrested so far has been us and also this guy.
Yep.
He must be very discriminatory towards Japanese people.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Fucking
Yet another
racist.
racist Brit in this game.
Yeah, fucking racist. Come on. I wonder what great deduction process led him to his conclusion this time, and what kind of
Do you mean to say,
correction we're going to have to do this one on deduce Sholmes again. Yay!
that Mr. Sholmes' deduction was the only reason the police arrested you? That would be really most unreasonable. The thing is, I was thrown into a panic when they barged their way in, so I confessed to the crime!
Did you assault a police officer?
Perhaps. Of course you were. I mean, that's only natural. I was terrified and trembling, and they kept throwing question after question at me in impossible English. British-born film flammery.
Well, we are in England. You can't really blame them for questioning you in English.
This also is saying that the creators of this game are framing Natsume Soseki as a total wackadoodle, so... Good point, but my mind went blank. I knew I had to answer, but I didn't know what to say. So I just kept repeating things like, yes, I do, and I'm fine.
Daijoubu!
Do you want to marry me? I said, yes, I do. And yes, daijoubu.
He said, hi!
Hi!
Daijoubu!
Daijoubu desu! Hi! Next thing I knew, I was in manacles, and before I knew it, I was thrown in here, and after I knew it too. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's hardly surprising.
I'm fine. He's not fine now. Do you
like
want a room
apologize.
tour?
Yeah. Mr. Naruhodo Esquire?
Oh, you can just call me Naruhodo. And when we're speaking English, simple mister is more than enough.
Hi. All right. Yes. They really got to me. This country is poisoning my mind. Please, I beg you to defend me in court tomorrow. You can tell them what really happened. You'll do it, won't you?
Well,
Why? Nothing. Why is it so hard to say yes to me?
well, the thing is, I'm just a student like yourself on a study tour.
Yeah?
No, you're a lawyer, dude.
Eh?
Fucking own it.
Eh? Gakse?
I've defended a case in the Old Bailey. Only the one, though. But at this moment in time, I really don't know what I'm supposed to believe in. I'm confused about what justice in this country even means. Wow. Already. Damn.
Oh, Naruhodo-san, you're having a deep thought.
Not even the foreign student. He was supposed to be here.
Not even supposed to be here today.
I'm sort of a locum lawyer, I suppose. What the fuck does that mean?
Locum?
Fucking vocabulary
Locum?
words in this game.
Okay, locum is...
You know what I want to do? Is I want to, like, take all of the words that we learned in this game and make it a command
Yes.
on my bot, and, like, I have it randomly pull up like a vocabulary word that we learned from Ace Attorney or any other game.
It's a person who stands in temporarily for someone else of the same profession, especially a cleric or doctor.
Oh.
You literally are a locum lawyer, I suppose.
I guess so.
We suppose. That armband. That's a mark of a defense lawyer from our great empire.
Justice comes served hot in old England. Well, I mean, especially when the raper of the Bailey is there for some like a... Yeah. It's a keepsake from the man who should have been here. It's my best friend. And my lover. And my boyfriend. And...
Keepsake? May I keep it? No. I know exactly what they're saying about me. Oh? Who do you mean? Lawyers, all the British defense lawyers, they won't defend me.
I'll see what I can do.
Goodness, well, why do you say that? It's because you're nuts. Same reason as you noted before. When it happened, there was only the victim and myself around, and I ran away from the scene of the crime. I'm not a fool. I know it looks as though I must be the culprit.
It must be very hard for you, Soseki-san.
Anyway, I'm a student from overseas. I'm just a foreign nobody. Someone not to be trusted. Forgettable, funny foreigner! I heard them openly laughing about me before, in my earshot, without any compunction at all. Any trial for this man would be a waste of time, they said. And of course the foreigner did it, they said.
I like that you've adopted Megora into your vocabulary.
Yes.
It's pretty damn good.
I even had the gall to say, the man doesn't understand half of what's being said anyway.
That's awful.
They're wrong! I've studied more English than half of the policemen out there on the streets! I've traveled halfway around the world to learn about these people's country and its great history. But no one here wants to listen to a man with a strange accent. They all hate me. Oh, at the very least, I'd like to entrust my fate to someone who can listen to me in my native tongue.
There's only one native tongue that I really care about, and I'm a minor.
Yeah,
Tsusato-san, you're here. I'll
be leaving now, though.
I was just turning him down. It's fine.
You could do it, couldn't you? When I look into your eyes, I see the eyes of a man who has lost his best friend, his lover, his Kazuma-sama. I can see what you've been through.
Seki-san, it's just that, I know I'm single, but I'm kind of looking at someone else.
Kind of into someone?
Kind of into someone right now, and I'm not really sure I want to close up my options right now. Just give me a little time, please. I'll do what I can for the time being.
What do you mean? We shall investigate the case as thoroughly as possible. We can find some clues. It will give us a much better chance, I'm sure. Oh, yes, yes. Thank you. I'll be here, all alone, waiting for you, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. We should be going then, Naruhodo-san. We have a case to prepare for, anywhere but here. Let's go. Let's leave.
Alright, yeah, I think we should, we can't examine anything, so we're going.
Get the fuck out of here.
Goodbye! What the fuck is with that bike? It's not going anywhere.
Wow.
What?
Work is done.
So, this is where it happened. Briar Road.
Naruhodo-san, mite kudasai. Look at that regulation metal helmet, it's unmistakable. The men of Scotland Yard are here. They're investigating as we speak.
That is their job, you know?
Naruhodo-san, to see one with my own eyes. They're often depicted in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. I never dreamt I'd ever come this close.
Well, you're a judicial assistant, and...
To a real Bobby's helmet. I want one.
What? The helmet?
Do you think they'll give me one? I want to wear it. Of course. I have to try one on one day. keep it forever.
Well, I hope your Hattie dream comes true.
I mean, I couldn't get the Russian girls close, so what am I gonna do?
Oh, it's you. I already forgot the voice I gave you. Okay, great. What's the Japanese delegation doing here?
Oh, Inspector Gregson. Gregson Cable.
This isn't on the tourist trail. I'm fairly sure you're well aware.
Yes, of course. We're here to investigate.
So you've been to the holding cells then? What'd you make of the criminal?
He's not a criminal, as you put it, Inspector. He's a suspect. He's a suspect, son.
We'll see about that. You Japanese like to stick together, I suppose.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm a racist shit like everyone else here. Well, do what you will. It doesn't bother me. The bloke's in court tomorrow, whatever happens, and the verdict is a foregone conclusion. The stone cold air of rejection. I know it well.
Take heart. London at this time of year is full of stone cold air.
That makes it worse, somehow.
I have to talk to him again?
Hello,
Oh my God.
sir.
Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector. And can you get me a hat? Ever since I read about the adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I've been fascinated by the place.
The Yard is the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am.
Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Bobby's helmet, so can you get me one? Can you get me one? Can you?
It does make them look the part. Seeing that policeman there with his helmet on, you certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty for protecting the city.
Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? I want one!
Wonderful's a strong word. Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you.
Oh, really?
First thing in the morning, you know what he does. Goes round and arouses all the laborers on his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yep, raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself. Going back a bit.
You know, I read about this in one of those like BuzzFeed, 50 jobs that don't exist anymore. Like people would go around and basically be an alarm clock, wake people up.
Wow.
Yeah, don't miss that. I had no idea.
Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. Can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way.
Let me convert that using my handy guide in my diary. Oh, that's a long way. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama.
On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps.
Oh my.
And I suppose in between all those duties, the Bobbies are expected to investigate cases as well?
And chase after criminals trying to evade the law.
I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly, more like alongside, but yes. They're expected to handle those jobs as well. We do have men keeling over from time to time, I'll admit.
Cool, so 20 miles would be walking from where we live to the capital.
Cool!
That's he's supposed to do that every day? Jeez. I once walked home from work and it was 7 miles. And I did not do that again. I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said, but, not the whole Tokyo to Yokohama part. It is with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Naruhodo-san.
Your heavy heart will be my head if you do.
That was a good one.
It happened around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just here, on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You've mentioned that she's been treated at the hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. Suppose that means we haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course. Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take a look if you want. Really? Are you sure? It's yard policy to give lawyers, defendants, and suspects the odd bit of information to go on. We haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still.
Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept.
Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but
just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present.
I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure.
How?
Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? I have two very reliable witnesses, no less.
Oh no.
Are they gonna be reliable witnesses that didn't actually see anything, like the other witnesses we've had? It was a typical foggy London day, and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now.
I'm kind of dreading that they're gonna be witnesses from the last case.
Ugh. Who are these witnesses, Inspector?
Fair play in the... Okay,
a fellow and his wife. And the man, if I was gonna say, if it is first and, what was his fair play? They had a very different relationship than what we originally thought.
Indeed.
Could have been a throwing knife even true, though. A fellow and his wife. The man's one of the most reliable and respected citizen in all of London. Magnus Begilded. Shit! He's alive! He's a copper from Scotland Yard.
Oh.
A policeman? That might change things.
And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked?
Nothing peculiar about that, ma'am. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching them banging the act and all that.
I'm a minor.
She's a minor, sir. Do you think it might be possible for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Maybe? Maybe for just for our sake of investigation?
Maybe.
A couple questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow.
Fine. Be that way.
Oh. I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. That'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. Cool!
A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed.
Yes. No shit, Herlock. As a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too.
Proud of you, Dukin.
Oh yeah, and one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Herlock Holmes? What are you bringing it up for? That's something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. Oh boy. Let's start with tomorrow's trial, huh? That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Oh, makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer worth his salt would touch that case with a barge pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper the Bailey, you mean? There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. It's all a bit strange, though. Sorry? Reaper, he hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now.
And yet he's now appearing twice for you. We to hear something to that effect.
And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum, the master criminals, the violent ones.
Van Zeke's come back for you!
Uah!
He returned for Magnus, but now he's coming back for Naruhodo Ryunosuke.
Master criminals.
The violent ones?
That's right, he handpicks his victims. Only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins.
This is, revealing about him.
That's so. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the young woman was stabbed, but it didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. This isn't the sort of case I'd be expecting of the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. He might want to sink his teeth into something else. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No, there's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest.
Some reason? Really? What sort of reason, Inspector?
Maybe it's a young lawyer. You think I can tell you what's going on inside the head of that Lord of Darkness? You'll have to ask him yourself at tomorrow's trial. You're really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as you put it. They're really just making him sound like Dracula at this point.
They seriously are. Oh boy.
Well, let's talk about Mr. Sholmes.
Sholmes!
Where did you hear that name from? Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings.
I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. So great.
Fiddle faddle!
Ah!
The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere.
I like this guy now.
Oh? I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spotting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. Yeah, he's quite astounding, isn't he? Astounding's a word, right?
He's a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he?
Gibble gabble!
Ah!
Ever seen this before? Oh, yes, that's Rance Magazine.
The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Herlock Sholmes appears.
Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detective stories. The so-called Great Detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you asked anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any of Herlock Sholmes' tale at all.
Well, I suppose there is an element of that, but,
We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. A man's dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all of our criminals.
that can't really be true, can it, Inspector?
Really, the Great Detective and the police have a complex relationship.
Very complex.
So complex. Well, I don't think we're gonna get any more useful information out of this detective.
Naruhodo-san, can I make a suggestion?
No.
Well, I'm going to do it anyway.
Oh, yeah, what is it? Is what I meant to say.
Well, it seems to me
Let's
we must speak with him about this. We really must.
By him? Do you mean?
I don't mean the man who put his leg up on the prosecutor's bench.
Oh, okay.
I do mean the absolutely crazy one who mutters incomprehensible rubbish.
I thought you were talking about Kazuma, but I don't know if we have any spirit mediums on hand at the moment.
Could we find one?
I don't know. Maybe we could check the ye old yellow pages.
Ye old yellow pages.
Mr. Cholmes?
Yes, unfortunately, him. Mr. Herlock Sholmes, exactly.
Hooray! Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you?
I can't wait.
Well, Mr. Natsumi did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he?
He sure did. He really did. Which makes him an involved party in the case. Are you gonna just ignore that? I hope not.
I was actually going to ignore that.
Well, too bad. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet with Mr. Sholmes again. I mean...
It might be your selfish desire to be with Mr. Sholmes again.
I just find him really entertaining, because he's very wrong.
The trouble is... we have no idea of the man's address.
It's Baker Street! Hello?
How do you know that?
It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world.
Oh. I see. Well, there's nothing stopping us from going, I suppose. We better find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable.
Ha! I'll summon an omnibus. I mean a carriage.
I'm not going anywhere near an omnibus, thank you.
Ooh.
So we're to have a reunion already.
Reuniting with Mr. Sholmes and then
Reunited, it feels so something. It really feels, doesn't it?
It feels.
With the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Please stop reading my mind. Don't nod along with my thoughts. I do want to, look around. A snowman!
What a delightful snowman.
I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy, though.
Oh, it has a scarf. Look. Oh, how cute. I'm gonna take it.
You'd need one if you're out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one.
I am afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment, too. We certainly can't afford a scarf.
How about I just take the one that's on that?
I already took it.
Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his.
The person who made the snowman certainly would.
Stop reading my mind! Yeah, I know, you're right, anyway. Even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. The only thing stopping me from stealing a scarf. I've investigated thoroughly, have I?
Wow, yep. There was only the snowman.
But I can't find anything out of place.
Oh, dear Kun.
I kind of hit the middle there. I've investigated this. I've investigated all of this so thoroughly. I've looked at the snowman and I've decided I don't know what's going on, y'all.
That's my dear Kun. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage.
What? I was busy looking at the snowman.
They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away the criminals. I mean, the suspects.
You're very well informed, aren't you?
It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London.
Please don't get accused of murder.
No, I'm just gonna wear the hat.
Don't. Susato-san. Susato-san. Look at me. Look directly in my eyes. Susato-san. Do not get accused of murder.
Fine! Be like that!
Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows
Ruin
then.
my dreams! That would mean being arrested in order to ride it. You just said I can't be accused of murder.
Would you murder someone with a rock?
I mean, to get to ride a carriage like that?
No.
Wouldn't I? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone!
No!
Damn.
No, no, no! I wasn't serious. Don't get accused of anything. It's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure that the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. Not that I'm not into that, but, you know, it's just I'd rather, you know...
I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. You've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern.
I don't know. I've done nothing wrong plenty of times, and I've been accused. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Twice, I found myself in handcuffs despite not knowing a thing about what's going on. And guess what? I still don't know a thing about what's going on, because all I've looked at is a fucking snowman.
Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences.
Maybe the snowman did it.
I'm sure it's that wide-eyed panic, look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all.
Ugh. Okay, nothing else to look at. Nothing else over here. All right, whee! It's a sad bike.
Oh, a British bicycle. It's really messed up. The wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore.
No, Susato, that's just what English bikes look like.
What?
Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. Some fucking BMX up in here.
Seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. I want one. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well.
The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that.
Do you dislike bicycles?
Yeah, no one in their right mind, especially not, you know, my ancestors. No one would ever ride a bike. Especially not exclusively. No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. Just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off the ground seems reckless. If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fallen into a river, you'd agree with me. Excuse me, this sounds like an experience you've had?
That's very specific.
Yeah, that's a little bit too
really highly specific. Kazuma, story time?
Right.
What is it about?
Hey, Kazuma, remember the time I tried walking on stilts and I fell into a river?
I remember jumping in to drag you out. Oh, my beautiful idiot. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind Kazuma-sama while he rides you around.
Right. Well, it could be a tandem bike, you know?
Sure.
Like, I'm sitting...
That's more decent.
Yeah. Okay, what's with that? Oh, look at the windows of that building there.
Yes!
That's what I was looking at! The windows, you know? The windows!
Are you sure they're windows?
Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks.
Oh, you're right. I wonder why.
I know why, actually.
You tell. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment.
There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though.
Dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place.
So this is actually a tax dodging method.
Ah.
So what used to happen was, in order to tax the rich a little bit more, they would charge you per window that you had on your house.
I remember that.
So people started bricking up their windows, in order to basically, like, not be taxed as much.
That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? Sure, it has a long and interesting history that we don't want to stick around to hear.
Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It looks crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here.
We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Gotta stretch
Yeah.
that stipend.
You're right, cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Okay, but like the hole in the fence, though.
I guess we're just not going to talk about that.
I guess no one cares. Okay, we're looking at smoke. Clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy.
Well, it is known as Foggy London Down.
I could just make out some sort of spire in the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though.
Aha, yes, that must be the Crystal Tower, being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Moon Kristaru Power Tower! Apparently it's going to be very striking, blazed on all sides in the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition.
It's to be the largest exhibition in history, isn't it? I can't even begin to imagine it.
I can't wait for a cat to come up to me there and tell me that my destiny is to save the world. And then she'll give me a magical power-up item and...
There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks.
Seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. Soon disperses all the snow.
I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. Seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead.
Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo. Dressed all in black. I worry coachman might not see you, and you could be flattened by horses.
Well, thank you for the rather small concern.
Ouch.
It's not what Kazuma said I was. He says I'm the biggest he's ever been with. That's what he said. I'm sorry, you're a minor. I'm leaving. You know what I want to do?
Present.
Present! Inspector Gregson, could I show you this? Am I supposed to know what that is? I've never seen that insignia before. It's worn by defense lawyers in the Empire of Japan as a symbol of their profession. In other words, it's a worthless trinket here in Great Britain.
Damn.
Oh, no, it's very important to me. It shows my spirit.
Aww.
My spirit boyfriend. An English gentleman keeps things like his spirit very much to himself, I'll have you know. Oh.
Don't give up, Naruhodo-san.
It's too late. He's crushed my spirit already.
No. Can you go to the history? that was funny. I like that little exchange. Okay. Take my pick.
Alright, let's move.
Oh boy.
Sholmes' suite.
Oh boy. I'm very sweet, thank you.
Ooh, cutscene. Ooh, look at that sword.
Thank you very much. It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day. Thanks again.
Ooh.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
I sound very different in the cutscene.
Indeed.
Wow.
Fancy.
What a nice place. Hey, can we bunk with you, Mr. Sholmes? Hey, Mr. Sholmes.
Wow.
Maybe I want to seduce Mr. Sholmes instead of Van Zeeks. If I could stay at his place, that'd be pretty sick. Hey, that chaise lounge looks nice and comfortable.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. I just walked in.
Got the violin and everything.
What
Oh.
is going on here? Is it as described in the stories, Miss Susato? Susato-san? Oh.
Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room.
Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be.
The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down an unlit London street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism! Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest?
My heart's been dead.
Can't you, Naruhodo-san?
Oh, I suppose I can, yeah.
So, you don't mind. I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer before I'm reminded how actually stupid and incompetent this great detective is. Please don't mind me.
She's obsessed. But I'm the one that's gonna bang him on the chaise lounge. I mean, I'm taken. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at the present. Excuse me. Anyone home? I know I just walked into your house, but
He's in the chimney. Oh, that's probably his
like landlady.
The landlady. Yeah.
Oh, do we have a visitor?
What?
No!
Oh,
It's you!
No! No! Oh dear God. Okay. Yeah, it was me, wasn't it? Okay. Hello. Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes?
Hello. Wait. Aren't you?
Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Also, I did not murder Mr. McGilded, so get that thought out of your head.
I'm sure it's the same girl. Susato-san, did you see that girl that was just here?
Oh yes, isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case.
The King of Bavaria?
King Wilhelm Gottfried Sixbond for the Of course, wait. I request that you read that name.
Oh God, no. King Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein, of course. Yeah, it's been a really long time since I've taken German, so my pronunciation is shit terrible. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Sherlock Holmes for a moment and look over there. What are those?
The tea's brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well.
Ah, it's you!
I knew it. Susato-san recognizes her too. You know, flashback, just in case you forgot.
Just in case you forgot who I am. Haha. Came back with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial. Thank you too. I'm here.
Unnecessary flashback time. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilded's trial in the defendant's antechamber.
Never met a lawyer from the Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you've only just arrived in London. And then you come here and you meet me, this little pyromaniac who killed Mr. McGilded.
Oh, yes, it was challenging. What did you say that just
Oh,
then?
nothing, dear.
Cool.
Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know.
It's poison. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color?
Oh, it's Earl Grey with a touch of poison.
Oh my. What a fragrant yet mellow flavor. I'm not gonna drink this and you shouldn't either.
Rest in pieces, Susato.
Okay, it's a winner. I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck with that one. He's crazy, I hear.
Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance?
Oh, you know Hurley, do you?
Hurley, huh?
Hurley.
Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, Shirley?
Surely you're not calling me Hurley.
Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see, so we had to deal with him for a long time.
Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he's just returned from overseas.
Wait a minute. You met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Did she deduce all those things, do you think?
Okay, so here's my theory.
Single father, Sherlock Holmes.
Yep, and she's the one who actually knows everything. And he doesn't know anything.
Right.
But in all of the great cases, she figured all the shit out. And perhaps more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Oh, Silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I?
Sure, you're question mark, question mark, question mark.
I'm question mark, question mark, question mark.
Hilariously. I don't know if you've ever played Pokemon Gold version. Gold and Silver. When you first meet your rival, like, he is named question mark, or like he says, like, you know, his like, when it says the person who's talking, they say question mark, question mark, question mark. And then when you battle him for the first time, he says, my name is question mark, question mark, question mark, and I'm going to be the greatest trainer in the world, and he runs off. And then you go to Professor Elm's lab, and they're like, oh, you saw the trainer that stole this Pokemon. Did you catch his name? Did you get what his name was? And that's when you're supposed to type in what you want your rival's name to be.
Oh.
But I was such a literal-minded kid.
You were like, it's question mark, question mark?
Yeah, I wrote in, I'm like, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's what he said his name was, which is weird, but I guess that's what you wanted me to say, right?
Oh my god, that's brilliant. So your rival was actually named question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yes, for the entirety of Pokemon Silver and Gold, I had a rival named question mark, question mark, question mark, because I was so literal-minded as a kid.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go.
What?
You know, see, I was gonna make a joke involving question mark, question mark, question mark, but I'm currently feeling a little traumatized.
Right.
It's
So this is John H. Wilson's child?
great pleasure to meet you both. My name is question mark, question mark, question mark, Iris Wilson.
Iris, huh?
Yeah, I like Iris. You don't know why that means something, but you shall find out.
Yeah,
one of these
somehow I'm feeling
decades.
trauma from, like, my progeny? Somehow? Like, down the line in my ancestry, I feel trauma. Weirdly.
I live here together with Ellie.
Ah, Iris, is it? What a lovely name! Why do I feel
Why am I shuddering?
terrified? I mean, to be fair...
No, what? Like, just really what? What?
What's the matter?
What? Wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? Wilson!
What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she all flustered all of a sudden?
Oh, dear.
Yes, that's right. And what are your names?
Oh, I'm Ryosuke Naruhodo, a famous lawyer from Japan.
He's the first class.
I'm an ace attorney!
Oh, sorry.
I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. You orphan.
Susie and Ryan. Kidding.
Lovely. Susie and Brian. Got it.
Runo.
Bruno.
Runo is such a dumb name.
Bruno.
Runo.
Susie?
And Runo. You couldn't have picked something better, like Ryan?
No, it's Bruno.
Cool, I'm Runo. There's more to this girl than meets the eye, I guess. I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start.
Yes, and so do I.
Sorry your father was killed.
Yeah, did you know?
Yeah, sorry that your father was killed and his killer was,
Oh boy.
got away. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey.
Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. We just thought you were a crazy person.
Though at the time we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. That was fun. Oh god, not...
Like this?
Could you...
Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade.
Oh, Ginny? Yes, she's a professional pickpocket.
So we found out.
It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that.
Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption?
Exactly. So I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions.
Well, that probably would have killed her, and then you would be on trial.
That's what I was thinking about, killing her, you see.
This girl is dangerous.
Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician.
Technician? Sorry, your technician?
Hurley, of course, silly.
Really?
What else is it good for?
Hurley? Really?
Yes, Herlock. Herlock Sholmes. We live here together.
I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter.
So, he's just connecting those dots? He isn't like, I thought you were Wilson's dad. He's just,
Yeah.
who's right too. Oh, I see.
Obviously she's
met-
Herlock's daughter.
When he said biographer,
Yeah.
he definitely meant his husband.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. He's assuming that they were married together and had a daughter.
Uh-huh. That's where he went.
Good job, Ryanosuke. Also, hi, Tig.
Hi. Daughter? Not likely.
Oh,
Nah.
what?
I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I?
You know, you never know.
Well, then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes?
You're a minor. I just want to remind you of that.
Well, he's sleeping with my father, you see.
Well, I slept.
I expect you found out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner, a roommate, you see. A partner, a compatriot.
Your roommates.
No. My father and Hurley were roommates. They were
okay.
roommates.
Roommates.
Roommates. Do we get each other's drift now?
Right. Can you hear the quotation marks in my voice? They were roommates. And they were roommates. Oh my god, they were roommates.
I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you?
10 last this year.
Well, what of your mother and father?
Suddenly remembering she might have a mother.
So Herlock is your mother, and your father.
Oh, he's dead. Oh, no. They're not around.
Oh, I see. Wonder what the story is there.
Guess we're not gonna ask. Wilson.
Hey, Miss Wilson.
Oh, yes, there's something I must ask you. Do you know that your father's dead?
Of course. Go ahead, Susie.
Did you know that I was accused of your father's murder?
What?
I mean, I was innocent, obviously.
I am a great fan of the adventures of Herlock Sholmes and,
Oh, you have a copy of Nonst magazine.
yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship.
Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world.
My stories? No, my stories. You idiot.
That's right. Halley is always solving such amazing cases, you see, and he tells me all about them.
Oh.
They really are quite fascinating, so I take the nonsense he tells me and I turn it into an actually good yarn.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, he's telling you all about
It
this.
would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think?
Goodness.
Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came around, and I realized he was writing about you two weirdos. You're the author. You wrote the books. You wrote it all. Guess I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure the Speckled Band.
Hey! The Speckled Band, that's certainly very familiar. Could you not publish the story of my boyfriend's murder in a magazine, if you please?
No, I think I'm going to publish it.
I would really highly prefer,
murder.
I'd really highly prefer if you didn't.
Of course, I always change one or two details in the story, here and there, so I'll just make his very beautiful long band blue. This time I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Don't you wish he'd just been bitten by a snake and gotten poison and then come back to life?
Oh, well, that was Mr. Soames' first thought as well, actually.
Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but there was a snake apparently wrapped around the one Russian man's head, so seems plausible, don't you think? It's a story anyway. Some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think. But don't you?
I don't think, actually. You could ask my... Oh.
He doesn't think. He really doesn't. So, do you mean to say you're gonna write about Kazuma-sama? Are the stories about Mr. Sholmes that are published in Ranced magazine?
Fake!
They're fake news. All written by me. Yes, on my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson.
Zata-san's getting more and more worked up.
I mean, I thought something was wrong when I met the great detective and he was a total whack job, but I guess that's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson, but no one wants to hear from a 10-year-old girl, do they? What about the doctor of medicine part? That's all true, too. I am a doctor of medicine.
You have your doctorate already? Damn!
See, this is the Ace Attorney series, and there's always a prodigy, and that's
No!
me.
At 10 years old? You're full of shit!
Yes, I'm a full doctor. At 10 years old. Haha! Welcome to Ace Attorney, bitch!
Well, that's quite incredible. Yep, incredible is the word. Not credible at all.
But... Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Yes. I did alter the setting slightly for the stories to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? That sounds like trafficking. I'm also actually a minor, so maybe we should just, I suppose it does, I guess.
Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world is just falling apart. Hey, so what the fuck? About before...
Yes. What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me.
How did you know that I was a lawyer and that we just arrived in London, I mean?
Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How'd you know all of that? You been stalking us? Oh, that's what you mean.
Herlock told me?
Please, just tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Now! Of course, I'd be delighted. Although, there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Aha! Deduction time. Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular.
I see. She's the brains of the operation.
First of all, I knew already that you were a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber.
But you also said that we only just arrived in London. How did you know that?
I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket.
Oh.
I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, telling me you are unaware of London's court affairs.
He's so handsome.
So for
They
Jesus,
really had
he's
no right making him so handsome.
How pale are his eyes? Is he the Chief Justice's
Son, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
But they have different surnames, I'm pretty sure.
I gotta look at these two side by side, man. Okay.
Reaper of the Bailey. I walked right into that one, didn't I?
And I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. We all know those only come from Asia. You were given that when you visited the local prison, I mean. Haha, they come from here also. To meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see. I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. So, that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus Begilded who burned alive, the two of you had already conned cause to visit a foreign inmate in a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so you didn't give a shit. I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative or a dead boyfriend. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case.
I see.
But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Oh, I stole the Chief Justice's watch. Having barely been home a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. He's terribly good at not solving cases, but I fix it all for him in post. It obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling, and it reminded him of someone he met on the steamship.
A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been...
You! And also, that guy. Mr. Natsume-san.
Oh!
Now, Nuno has that fancy Japanese sword.
Don't say shit about my boyfriend.
Fancy. And I think your outfit is called a kimono. Isn't it, Suze? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both come from Japan yourselves. At least, I have fucking eyes, you know. I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. See how I did that? I'm so clever.
You are way better at this than he is.
There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know. He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really.
Wow.
Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. My Iris Talk, if you will.
Like and subscribe.
You're actually good at this. Like, actually good.
Like, can you be my judicial assistant?
Hey!
Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct?
They were spot on.
That was amazing, Iris. An actual great deduction.
Like a
truly.
really actually great deduction. We haven't seen one of those yet.
I'm not being sarcastic, okay? I know that I am a lot, but not this time.
You've even managed the certain something of Mr. Sholm's delivery.
Oh, I taught him that. Oh, I mean, haha. I was just copying Hurley's style for that. He does do one or two things well. One thing at least.
this is really very good news. Someone around here actually knows what she's doing. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please, please, pretty please? Sure.
So, yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man, you were saying?
Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage, but the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene.
Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems.
Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. I'm not sure whether or not the witnesses were racist.
A short, shifty-looking, stooped man.
Mr. Natsume, beyond a doubt. Saseki-san said he didn't see anyone else on the street at all. It seems there were witnesses after all.
Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. Basically, he asked the man for his address and the man gave it to him. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man, shivering in fear.
Short, shifty-looking, stooped, shivering!
Mr. Sholmes did great deduction. Certainly hit the mark that time.
Of course it did. He's a great detective. A great one.
Certainly, yeah, you know, he's a detective. That's
great.
for sure. He's a detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it?
Oh, just you wait.
Yeah.
Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly.
Yeah, and like, I hope in the future that no one will have to deal with the trial being
Right, the next day.
the next day ever again.
Really seems like something that would be very bad for the judicial system.
Yeah, we should definitely tell Japan not to do that.
Hurley says that London is rife with crime.
Oh, I mean, well, a woman was just stabbed, and then a guy was stabbed yesterday.
It was Jack the Ripper.
I mean, not yesterday, but a couple days before that. And then a guy did die in an omnibus in the courtroom yesterday, so, I mean...
Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently.
Well, they are worked to the fucking bone at this time.
Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. Although, you know, the whole deal with the Bobbies having to walk around for 20 miles.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the criminals in court. I don't know what your excuse will be a century from now, but staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinned on the most suspicious person.
Great.
That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system, and we're gonna get stuck learning from that.
I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Sasaki-san. Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. It's been very informative. I don't know why I get a chill up my spine every time I say the word Iris.
Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun.
You happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment?
Oh yes, he's in the chimney burning.
What? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well.
Ah, well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene.
You say that, and yet we just came from the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, Mr. Natsume. Hurley said he was going to go to the man's lodging.
Yes, Mr. Nuts.
Mr. Nuts.
We're gonna...
He's definitely nuts.
Yeah, or the case of these nuts. Yeah.
If you leave now, you'll probably catch D's.
The case of Mr.
Iris, do you know where those lodgings are?
I'm so funny.
Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Fish and Chips when you were there?
Yes, we know of Inspector Fish and Chips.
Ah, goody. In that case, tell him I'm sending him some Taco Bell. Give Gregsy this from me, wouldn't you?
But what about the Taco Bell? What about the
This is
the
my
Pizza Hut?
future credit card. He can pay for the Taco Bell with it.
Okay.
If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know.
What is this?
A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems.
So a bribe.
It reads, tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a prop.
So a bribe! We're bribing the Scotland Yard.
God, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Is it legal?
Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Apparently this is legal in Great Britain.
Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript and burning Hurley in the chimney. And I'll be making more special blends of tea with extra poison, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris-chan. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of crime and away from here.
Okay, guess we're going. We're just gonna go. So somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men at Scotland Yard at all. We headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. To be continued!
To be continued!
Da-da-da! What the fuck is going on, my dude?
We got through that whole chapter without actually meeting Sholmes again at all.
We sure did. But we did meet Iris.
The part where he was like, oh, clearly you're his daughter. Because
certainly you and hey, we're both recently widowed. Sholmes and I are both recently widowed.
And he's like, what?
Yeah.
To what are you saying?
I mean, your ex-husband, your dead husband. All right, let's find someone to raid. Who's strumming? It's probably Jess again. Jess is playing Hades. We love to see it. Yeah, let's go say hi to Jess and watch them hit some things and possibly do some fun gay things in hell.
Thank you everyone for joining us. I won't poison you.
Raid. All right, that's incorrect. Hold on, there we go. Meow. Thank you guys for coming. Guess what? We had a very successful poll on our Discord about what we're gonna do with our Fridays, and it turns out we're just gonna do more of the Great Ace Attorney. So tune in again tomorrow around the same time. And we're gonna do more Great Ace Attorney tomorrow at roughly 6-ish, 5:36. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Hooray! Go say hi to Jess. You have a great rest of your day too. Get some sleep or stay awake if it's your other time zone. Yeah, and Sunday is obviously multiplayer games, but we'll see what we end up playing. So yeah, have fun. Go say hi to Jess. Love you guys, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Ace Attorney. It'll be great. Ta-da!